Okay, so I've got the high voltage generator here again. I've a couple new things, so that's what it is put together. There's a fan, I've added labels on the front, there's an LED, it's not hooked up yet though. Okay, so the board from last time, I've added these input terminals, which unscrew, have a hole in the center where you put the input leads in, the 12 to 30 volt DC in. The data sheet says that or rather the description on Amazon said that the board needs anywhere from 15 to 20 amps. So I've got a power supply coming that can supply that, but it's a switching power supply, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, I think it filters it, but I don't think it has a very fast rise time. So I'm gonna have to get a MOSFET, MOSFET to actually activate the power. So first I'll switch the power source on, then I'll have kind of like an interrupter or something on a separate unit here. It'll be outside of the box, not at all, because I only realized I needed this after hooking all of this up. No, that's totally not what happened. Anyway, yeah, so I got the input wired up to here. I've got the flyback transformer installed with the leads to these coils here hooked up where I'm pretty sure they go. The middle one, I looked at the traces on the back of the board, and the middle one seemed to go to be the correct one for the center tap, and the two edge ones for the outside ones, based on where they connected to the MOSFETs under here. Under here. So yeah, but I'm not going to turn this thing on until I get a firm reply from the supplier, if I can. Anyway, moving on. I've put holes in the sides for the leads, for the wires. I've rolled up this wire. I'm not sure what this wire does yet, but whatever. I have then also probably one of the biggest attachments, the cooling fan. So there's this cooling fan, but this only moves air around the MOSFETs. It doesn't actually exchange the air in the case. So I added this to exchange the air in the case, and it's outside both because there's not a lot of space in here, and I want to save it for other electronics potentially in the future. As well, it actually physically doesn't fit in the case, and the only other fan I have was this little guy, which does not pull a lot of air. So I got this guy mounted. In this configuration, it sucks the air. That was, I don't know, I probably could have sat down and figured out some really basic fluid dynamics or thermodynamics, or both. But I just really wasn't feeling like it. So yeah, it's arranged in the configuration to suck air out that way. And then there's an intake on this side here. I drilled those with a Dremel by hand. So they're kind of haphazard, but whatever. I think it'll do. Yeah, so I've got the high voltage positive. Let's see if I can't fix this a bit. There we go. Okay. So I've got the high voltage positive lead with a hole there, high voltage negative lead, and this, which powers the fan, based on this. Called for a 12 volt supply, tried a 12 volt supply, did not turn. So I gave it 19 volts and now it turns. Yeah, is what it is. But anyway, so now there's a kind of a power supply just to supply the cooling fan. I don't really care. This is for my own experiments anyway. It's not like I'm making a product, so random power supply just for a cooling fan? Fuck it, why not? Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much everything that's new, I think. I'm not planning on adding a switch on this. I'm planning on making the switch be the interrupter box, which is going to have a wired, not wireless, a wired control remote thing, just with like an on-off switch. I was going to put an LED in it, but it proved more annoying than was worth the trouble, or yeah, whatever. So it's just going to be a box with a switch and a wire coming out. Maybe I'll put an LED on the actual interrupter box itself or something. I don't know. Yeah, so this kind of fits together. The transformer, by the way, is loose. That's because there's an angle that gives this the lowest profile, and I'm not completely sure what angle that is, nor am I completely sure what's the best way to find that. Or if I put some thought into it, I probably could. But once again, I don't really care enough for that. I'm not going to be tossing this thing around, so it sits loose there. It's mostly held in place. Like, there's not much it can move. But yeah, so it's somewhere on that angle is the lowest one. So I just kind of let it self-settle. And it's worked out so far. Have not powered this thing up yet. The power supply I was talking about is still in the mail. It's coming today. Yeah, so, and then I have to go yell at some people from Home Hardware. No, I'm joking. Got some wrong parts from the Home Hardware that I gotta go replace. They were in the wrong boxes, which is fairly annoying, but you know, I'll be calm. I will be calm. Strength. Anyway, see ya.